Big up everyone, what is happening? The Liverpool Prophet back again with another live stream. Hope everyone is doing well. Big up the chat. Today, a special type of live, a special type of live stream, should I say. I'm joined by my brother, African King Academy, and we are going to be previewing the Liverpool versus Chelsea game tomorrow. So, again, pleasure having my brother King on, as always. How you doing, bro? Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I'm good. Not so good when it comes to the football, but everything else, I'm good.
It's nice to hear, man. It's nice to hear. So, obviously, our two teams meet tomorrow, 12:30. Should be an interesting game, but again, there's not really much on this game. It's not a title decider or anything like that. One team's lower than the other, if you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, man, appreciate you hopping on as always. Appreciate you joining me. Big up yourself as always. Big up to everyone who's in the chat. Hope everyone in the chat's doing well as well. And yeah, without further ado, we'll just get straight into talking about the game then, bro. So, Liverpool versus Chelsea at Anfield tomorrow, 12:30 kickoff. So, how are you feeling going into the game, bro?
How am I feeling?
Big up, Brian.
Honestly, we're on a six game losing streak. We've only scored one goal. It was a wonderful goal. Don't get me wrong. One of the goals of the season by João Pedro, but like, if you see my reaction or see any Chelsea fans' reaction to that goal, it was ones of, oh, wow. Like, that type of goal that João Pedro scored last weekend, that's one where you're meant to be celebrating like a madman, but I had no energy for it. I was like, oh, what a great goal. And just moved on. Because it's just been so bad over the past, month, 2 months. One goal scored in like 2 months in Premier League football. Worst run we've been on in a very long time. We have a caretaker manager who doesn't really know what he's doing. We had a manager previously who didn't know what he was doing. So it just doesn't feel... I don't know how we got into a cup final. I don't know how. And really, there's, as I said, I've said this before on our shows on the Fellowship, the only two games that really matter to me are Spurs and that final. Yeah. This is just... it's a throwaway match, but it's a game that if we win, it doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. And if we lose, it doesn't mean anything. It just means, well, it looks bad on the table, which I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind if we can go lower on the table because I want the sporting directors out. So the lower on the table we can go, the better. If we lose, we can even go up to maybe 12th place, depending on what happens in other games. So long may the losing streak continue until we face Spurs.
I hear that, bro. I hear that 100%. Big up to the brother Vidge, man. Hope you're doing well, Vidge. Do sub to our brother Vidge as well. Another one in the Fellowship. Appreciate you being in, man. Big up yourself. So yeah, man. I hear it, bro. From an outside perspective, someone who's really into the Chelsea thing. It's been a very disappointing season for you guys. I can't lie. Last season was relatively good. I think last year was Maresca's first season. I think came in, won 2 trophies. The Club World Cup and the Conference League as well, I think it was. Yeah. So you did win 2 trophies last year. Then you come into this season and it goes a bit. So what did you make of your guys' summer window then? The window you had? Were you happy with the window that you had in the summer, or you think you didn't do enough?
Oh no, our window was shit. I'm gonna lie to you. To this day, I don't think Sanchez is a good enough goalkeeper. I don't care what anyone says about him having a good season. He's rubbish to me. Jorgensen's rubbish, so we never got a proper goalkeeper. That's the one thing we didn't do. Centre-backs, as I said, the only good centre-back we have just came back from injury, Levi Colwill, but the rest of them, like Fofana has been the most disappointing out of them all because I expect a lot more from him, but the rest of them, scrubber-dubs. Mamadou Sarr that we got back in January, I don't really expect a lot from him. He's just come in. The thing is, he should have got more game time. I don't know why this manager is playing Tosin, because Tosin shouldn't be in my squad or in my club, so he needs to go. So centre-backs, we never did what was necessary. We didn't sell the booty juice that we have at the back, and we didn't buy any centre-backs for Maresca to be successful. The wingers, oh my, let me not get started on the fact that we bought 2 left wingers that do the same thing are inconsistent as hell. One has been injured for most of the seasons in Jamie Gittins, and the other one doesn't know how to beat his man. We've seen wingers in the Bayern PSG game know how to beat their men consistently. I've seen Man City, their wingers know how to get past their fullback consistently. We don't have the only one we have is Esteval, and our previous manager basically took him out for the season because he was desperate because he knew the rest of them were scrubs. So all of our wingers not named Esteval need to go. We got Quenda coming in. He's a guy that can actually beat his man and it has pace and will be good off the bench. So he's going to be a spark for us. But we need to buy we didn't buy the wingers necessary for us to be successful. And then in the striker position, we needed 3 strikers. We only had 2 for the season. One being João Pedro, he's done well. One being Liam Delap, who hasn't done much. Our third striker was Yu, but they don't play him. So for me, you need 3 first team strikers. We only had 2 first team strikers. That was another issue. Midfield and fullbacks were the only places in my squad that I'm not bothered about. I think my midfield and my fullback situation is fine. But goalkeeper, centre backs, wingers, striker was not addressed in last summer. And what we bought in did not address our problems. They even created more problems. And now we have to get rid of these scrub-a-dubs.
I hear that, bro. I completely hear that. I gotta agree. To be fair, I mean, you guys you don't go down the route of signing experienced players, do you nowadays? You kind of go for the youngster model where you bring in youngsters, and it's a bit weird because you bring a youngster in and then a year later you'll get rid of him. So, from an outside perspective, I think Chelsea would be better off just ditching that whole thing and going back to the way of signing experienced players. Because I look at the Chelsea team, I don't really see a lot of experienced players in that team. To be fair, not a lot of know-how in there. I remember you had Thiago Silva a couple of years ago, and that was it. There's no experience really in that Chelsea team, and I think that's something that you really lack and you need going forward. But yeah, you obviously said there your window wasn't good. So obviously you go into the start of a season. What did you make of the start of Chelsea season?
It was fine. The season was fine up until the point where Mariska had a little dip, which was always going to happen because we don't have the squad to deal with multiple injuries. I don't agree that we need to get rid of the model. I just think we need to add a couple pieces of experience. The problem with the model is it doesn't work if the sporting directors are making dumb decisions. No one can tell me that the best under 25 wingers that you can find are Garnitti and Gittins when the likes of Yildiz are available. No one can tell me that the best under 25 centre backs that you can have are Disasi, Badashile, and stuff like that when Murillo's available, when the likes of Lacroix, who's under 25 or like 25, 26 is available. You could have brought him in at Crystal Palace doing his thing. Guehi was available for most of for the summer and the winter break and was a former Chelsea player. And you can see he was available as well. So you can't tell me that the model can't work because the PSG are the best team in the world and most of their players are under 25. They're the youngest squad one of the youngest squad in Europe. And they only sprinkle a little bit of experience. That's all you need. 2-3 experienced heads that have been there, done that. And the rest of it can be under 25 talent. And they have to be the best. You know what I'm saying? You look at the players that they brought in. They are the best under 25 players, including the likes of Marquinhos and stuff to add experience. We don't have the best under 25 wingers outside of Esteval. We don't have the best under 25 strikers. Liam Delap is not that. We don't have the best under 25 centre backs. There's plenty of under 25 centre backs like Schlotterbeck, like Murillo, like Lacroix. There are centre backs available that are way better than our ones that we could have brought in. Fullbacks, I'm fine with. Goalkeeper, we don't have the best under 25 goalkeepers. We have one good one who's at Strasbourg right now, Penders. He looks like he can be something good. But that's a position that you could have got someone experienced. Mike Mannion was available in the summer for 25 million, and they said, it wasn't good enough. Yeah, Konza as well. Konza, Guehi could have got. So the thing for me is you can get experience, but it has to be the right. Because if you look at our 20 over 25 players, majority of them are rubbish. Tossin's over 25 rubbish. Chalaba's over 25 rubbish. Pedro Neto's over 25 rubbish. So for me, this experience experience has to be good, great experienced players that have been there and done that, and that have won the t-shirt, and that can actually show players how to play football, not bums, because that's what we have. And then the under 25s have to be the top elite talent in the world. Now, if you're not going to get the best, like for example, we were in for Elise, better than our wingers. We didn't get him. We could have got Osimhen, a striker, experienced, one of the best strikers in the world. Could have brought him in. Wanted to come to Chelsea, didn't want to bring him in because of wage structure and bullshit like that. For me, if you want to get experienced elite talent, you need to break the wage structure for 3-4 men, and then the rest of them can go under the wage structure. And Osimhen is someone you bring in. He shouldn't be over there in Turkey. He's too good to be over there in Turkey.
I completely hear that, bro. I completely hear that. If you want the best, you got to pay to get the best. Is the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I think you said it perfectly there.
And we spent money. We spent 2 billion. So 2 billion should have been able to get you a good enough squad to win, to compete for the league. And it's this. And the thing is, when people say the 2 billion, it includes a bunch, 100 kids that we sent. Some of the kids that we bought, we sent over to Strasbourg. Some of the kids we bought are out on loan. We have a guy that's in Kendry Paez in South America somewhere. He was a failure. We bought the likes of David Washington and stuff like that were failures. So for me, you can hoard talent, but it has to be the best talent. It has to work. And the talent in Strasbourg is great. I think the only problem I have with Strasbourg right now is they aren't being given the right managers, and we're not given the right managers. And the biggest thing I have is that the sporting directors have made too many mistakes for them to keep their jobs in either club. So for me, Blueco needs to actually look at it and look at what they're doing. The women's team that was 6-7 titles in a row, not winning the title this season, not getting Champions League, not winning Champions League, finishing 3rd place, most likely behind Arsenal and City. Not good enough. Ruined that. Strasbourg, out of the Conference League, because they have a bummy manager in Gary O'Neill, some English twat, languishing 8th in League R, when they should be top 4. Should be a top 4 team with the talent that they have assembled, and etc. And then Chelsea, we have the elements of being a very talented squad, but you need to add the proper players in order to make it to the next level, for me. And the biggest issue is the sporting directors of both clubs and Blueco themselves for hiring these people and not actually firing them. Egbali has a lot on his head, because the people he's hired aren't good enough to be running top clubs. And to be honest with you, Strasbourg and Chelsea should be up there in both leagues. They should be top 3 in both leagues, competing for the best, competing for the titles with the amount of money spent in both leagues. But they're not, because you're not buying the right talent. You're not actually making the right decisions. And it's ruining both clubs. Both sets of fans had a protest. Doesn't really mean anything because the ownership isn't going to go. But what you can change is the sporting directors and the people running the sporting side of the business. That needs to change for me, for both clubs to move forward. And when the sporting directors change, then I can be more comfortable in the fact of what my next manager is going to be for Chelsea and for Strasbourg. And I think both teams can flourish, because there's bits and pieces that they've done right, but then there's other things they've done wrong.
I completely hear that.
Kind of like that's why I think of it in terms of the club at the moment. It's like, and to be honest with you, it does. People want to catastrophize, and rivals will probably say, "Oh, it's a mess," etc., etc. It doesn't take a lot to turn it around. It doesn't. It doesn't. I agree. You can turn it around in the summer. You can turn it around in a year, because the talent in both sets of teams, and especially in terms of Chelsea, in terms of the highest level, if they put it this way, our team under the right manager beat PSG in a final, and now we'll look at where we at. That's the that's what happens when you make the wrong decisions, when you get rid of the wrong men, when you have the wrong people dealing with the sporting decisions and getting rid of a manager because of a personal issue, and then bringing in a worse manager, then bringing in a caretaker. That's what happens. So so for me, um, I need you to beat us up for two reasons. One, I need to get rid of my sporting directors and slot 2032. Let's go.
I hear it, Bob. I hear it. Big up to Joss, man. Make sure you do sub to Joss, man. Big up yourself, brother.
Big up everybody
Big
inside.
up, man. Is this true here? What Brian says?
Yeah.
That's mad. So he asked for a centre back and he wasn't given for him. That's okay. So obviously you weren't backed much in the summer. Had a decent start to the season. Had some good results in there. To be fair, I know you lost away at United. You beat us at home in the reverse fixture. Beat Barcelona up as well. Got a good point at home against Arsenal with 10 men. Then it kind of went a bit sour, didn't it, around January-ish time when Maresca said what he said. Then, of course, Maresca gets sacked. I think it was around January time he gets sacked. So he goes. Rosenior comes in. What did you make of the whole Rosenior thing coming in then, Bo? Because obviously, I know you've said numerous times that the problem isn't getting rid of Maresca. It's not replacing him with someone who's an upgrade. It's replacing him with a downgrade. So when Rosenior did come in, how did you feel about that? Did you think maybe he can prove the Chelsea fans wrong and do well? Or did you think it was always going to just crash and burn?
No, I said verbatim that he wasn't going to end the season. And I was right. I had no hope for him. No hope whatsoever. Before he came to our club, he got fired at Hull. He managed Hull and got fired. And he was at Strasbourg in League R in 7th place. I'm sorry, what does that track record tell anybody that he's going to be successful in the Prem? Seventh in League R. You know what? I want to even know. I would actually like to look at that table and see what teams were ahead of him at that time. But 7th in League R. With the amount of young talent that team has as well.
That's complete madness, man. That is complete. So obviously, he wasn't the right fit from the beginning. It was never going to work out. It was a weird appointment, to be fair, then, because it's like he hasn't got the qualifications to be a Chelsea manager, but you still appoint him regardless, and ultimately he crashed and burned. I think you guys did start off okay, got a couple of good results there, and then it just ultimately you had the 5 losses in a row and he was potted. I agree, Arian, he's a whole City level coach, man. He's not a Chelsea level coach for sure. On the blue card, then, Bo, you've had quite a couple of managers now, haven't you? I think when they first came in, Tuchel was the manager. He goes, Graham Potter comes in. Then Lampard, I don't know if you want to count Lampard as well because he was only an interim, but he did. Then Pochettino, and then it was Maresca, and then obviously Rosenior. What have you made of the whole manager merry-go-round in the blue card?
They've only made one good manager appointment in Maresca. They hired Graham Potter too early because the team that we had at the time when Graham Potter came in wasn't suited for his style of football. So he was never going to be successful. Lampard wasn't good at the time. He needed to go back down to championship level and rebuild. And you see what he's doing now. For me, I think Lampard will eventually become a great coach, but he just needs time to cook in the kitchen. He probably should have stayed at Derby that time there. But look at him, what he's doing with Coventry. So he's getting back up there. So I ain't got no problem with him. Pochettino was a disaster in every aspect of the world. I don't think it's ever wise to get a manager that was managing at Spurs because he's got the Spurs virus on him. You know, I'm seeing that loser mentality, and he showed that throughout. And I said, Enzo Maresca was the only good one. We became world champions because of him, because of the style of football that he created. So the only positive out of the blue era was Maresca. We're world champions for the next 3 years, so we can just say that. So if anybody has anything to say about my club, we're world champions. Respect your kings. But in regards to that, every other appointment was terrible, in my opinion.
I hear it.
And And the reasons they got rid of both the two best managers they had in Tuchel and Maresca were not footballing reasons. And for me, that's a problem.
Oh,
I don't ever think I don't think it's ever smart to get rid of a manager for personal reasons. It should be for sporting merit. And I think Maresca should have been given the whole season to be able to do what he needed to do and been given and because of what he won you in the previous year, they should have listened to him and gave him the centre backs he needed in January and then seen how it went. And but what they did was they got rid of him. They didn't buy a centre back. They loaned back one of our centre backs from Strasbourg, which had kind of upset Strasbourg. Got back a centre back from Dortmund and then sent that centre back to Strasbourg, and both of them haven't really played since. So both were there. The two centre backs that we had that were developing well in two different teams now aren't developing as well because one isn't really playing for Chelsea and the other one isn't really playing for Strasbourg. Did not make no sense. So for me, I think that whole January period was a disgrace in every essence of the word for any club that wasn't called Man City. And yeah, so for me, it's not a surprise that the season has gone as bad as it has because if you hire incompetence, these are the type of things that will happen. So really, I ain't got in an all honest level, I ain't really got no hope for the future. I'll just see what happens. I'm always going to be a Chelsea fan. I'm glad I've seen my team lift every trophy known to man. We've won it all. So anything that happens forward, I just leave it up to the Most High because that's only going to save. That's the only thing saving my club. And yeah, man, I will say it every single time. Fuck the government for taking the club away from Roman. That was the day Chelsea was lost.
I hear it, but I hear it. I think Abramovich again proved down the years why he was such a good owner. Ruthless, and he did been a lot under Abramovich. So obviously the Blue Coal, I think that's what they're called, isn't it? Blue Coal. They've come into Chelsea. They haven't exactly. But to be fair, they have kind of buried you. They buried you really quick as well. It only took about a year or so for them to just take you from there to there. So it's mad. It's really mad. At the end of the day, they are just typical American owners, aren't they? Blue Coal. Which is what I think everyone, all the other big six clubs can relate to as well, to an extent. So it is crazy. It's crazy how Chelsea went from being up there to there. So you said Tuchel wasn't fired for footballing reasons either. I thought he was. That's crazy.
No, it wasn't footballing reasons. It was personal. One, because they knew when it comes to new ownership, they're always going to get rid of him, rid of the manager at the time because they didn't hire him. So it's always going to be personal. They were finding any excuse to get rid of him at that time because obviously he wanted more control in terms of the footballing matters. That's not what they do. That's not what they've done ever since. They sign the players. You get given the players. You do what you do with them. Tuchel wanted control in terms of the players coming in, and that's why he got sacked, and other personal spats that they had.
I hear that. Do you think it was a mistake sacking Tuchel? Looking back on it, do you think he'd be better off now if he was still here, or do you think eventually he would have?
I think he would have got fired either way. And to be honest with you, if you look at his track record since then, it hasn't been good in hindsight. I don't know, man. He was in a bad place at that time personally as well. Yeah, he called the owners out as well. So I don't know because he wasn't good at Bayern. He hasn't been good at England. Would he?
He wasn't probably won me more. Either, was he? So
yeah, it wasn't. But he would have won me more trophies. I think he would have been better than the managers that they hired after him. So to a certain extent, yes, I think it is a mistake, but I don't know what he would have become. It's a funny one because he kind of went downhill after that in terms of his managerial quality. After the Chelsea, so who knows?
Yeah, it's one of those what could have been situations. He could have done this.
It's a what if.
Thing.
Yeah,
he could have done that. He could have. Yeah, a big up, man. Big up, man. He could have done. He could have. We don't know at the end of the day, do we? We do not know. So
Yeah.
yeah. The blue collar thing is a bit mad still. Really, really crazy what happens there. It's mad because the man went to Bayern Munich and he didn't win at Bayern Munich, and it's like, how can you go Bayern and not win at Bayern with what they do? You know, it was under him that I
Yeah.
think Leverkusen won that Bundesliga, wasn't it, under Alonso? So
Yeah.
yes, 100%. It's a bit mad. So then, okay, I've got to ask you the Garnacho signing, because this is something that I've wondered for a lot now. What you got to ask what Chelsea were thinking when they signed Garnacho from United, because that guy is not a good footballer at all.
I still don't know. I can't really tell you. I can't tell you. I can justify the get inside because he's young, English, potential to grow into something. And he was bought before Garnacho, so we already had a young, talented left winger that could maybe had potential. The winger that needed to be bought with Gittins needed to be an experienced, been there, done that winger. So I don't know. I really can't tell you. I'll be honest with you. I've tried to think about it many times. What was the thought process? I don't know. I really don't. I think that's one of the worst signings that we made in our history. Well,
Surely.
yeah, we've actually made two. We've made two bad ones. Him and Mudryk, but him more so. Mudryk could have been something if it wasn't for the drug use, because he was getting better after the drug take, before the drug thing. So he could have been something. But Garnacho he's the thing about it. Garnacho is a lazy signing. It's a Havertz type signing. It's a Mason Mount type signing. You've seen him in the Prem for a couple years. You know he can't do shit. You know he's at a club that wants to sell him. If he's good, if he was good enough for the Prem, Man United wouldn't be selling him. So why you buy him? And this is the first time I've seen my club make that dumb decision of buying a player from a Prem rival, knowing full well they want to sell him. Nope, that's not that's what we do to other clubs usually.
Basically, it was karma,
multiple times.
What you do to Arsenal, United did to you with that. It's a mad signing. I myself don't get it. You said yourself there, but you don't understand it. You think he definitely
actually, you know what? It's money laundering. That's all it can be, man. It's that's what it is. Maybe businessmen, said, "Oh, I need to make this amount. Oh, okay, I'll buy him." Because I don't know any other way it could be. Because we did a couple of those type of deals. We bought Ollie Kellerman or some shit like that and sold Maatsen to Villa in a similar deal. So yeah.
Brian Semenyo would have been a good signing for Chelsea. That's mad that you chose Garnacho over him.
But yeah, so for me, like, it's just, I don't know the thought process behind it. That's why I need the people who made the decision, which were the sporting directors, to be fired. 100%. And whoever the specific person did this, because I know it wasn't Joe Shields, because Joe Shields, he's normally the guy that brings in the Man City academy players, which, hit or miss on them. Great talents, they from a great academy, etc., etc. So I don't care about him. One of Winstanley or Stewart, Stewart, one of them two decided Garnacho was the player they wanted to buy. Whoever made that decision, yeah, they need to go. I was gonna say something wild, but I'm not gonna say it on this channel. But yeah, they just to be safe before I get go crazy. Yeah, they just need to go.
Yeah, completely understandable, man. It was a ludicrous signing, which made zero sense. And to be fair, he's been a disaster at Chelsea anyway, so says it all, doesn't it? Says it all. Yeah. As have a lot of your wingers, to be fair, this season. So as for how this season's panned out, yeah, under Maresca, you guys were sort of in a title race, and then around November-ish, December-ish time, fell off a bit. Rosenior comes in, you fall off. You were in this whole top 5 battle up until a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, you've had the 5 losses in a row, and that you're now, I believe, 11th, 10th, somewhere like that, sat, which is crazy because I think that's the second time you've been sat there under the blue coat thing. So I know you don't want to get European football, you want to finish as low as possible and that. But do you still think you will get it? Do you still think you'll get?
No. No, the only way we get European football is if we win the FA Cup.
I hear that.
We're getting 3 more points the rest of this season, and that's against Tottenham, just because we need to. We have no choice. So we finish with 51 points. If you get 51 points right now, that gets you 7th right now. So, yeah, I don't believe we get a European place.
Understandable. So here's a question from Arian that makes I've been wondering what is going on with Cole Palmer, because obviously he's not been where he's been in the last couple of seasons. Really, there's something wrong with Cole Palmer, because low-key he has been underperforming quite a bit, hasn't he?
Oh no, I would. He's injured. He's been injured. He needs to go surgery. He has what's his Pugbabea? It's like a groin injury, so he hasn't been himself in terms of the level of quality you expect from a Kopama. So he just needs to get the surgery. Obviously, it's a World Cup year. I don't want him to go to the World Cup. I don't think he should go to the World Cup. I don't think he's been good enough to go to the World Cup. So, what I really hope for is that he doesn't get taken by Tuchel, and then he gets that surgery, and then we'll see.
That's fair enough. I had no idea about him being injured. So, all right.
Yeah, he has one of them niggling ones where you have to kind of either deal with it or get the surgery to kind of get rid of it.
Yeah, I hear it. Big up Rasta, man. Big up to the brother Rasta in the chat. Make sure you do sub to our brother Rasta, man. Big up
he's been shit regardless. So even though he's like hurt, I still don't care. Like, he should have either took the thing or just not play. Because for me, playing with him right now is playing with like 10 men. Because he's not the same player he should be because of what he's dealing with, but also what he's been like this season. So I'm not going to make an excuse of it. It's his own fault. He should have took the surgery. I don't know why he's wasting his time BSing.
Fair enough, bro. Fair enough on that. So to wrap up then with Chelsea before we get into the game, and then I'll ask you a bit about the Liverpool situation and what you think about that. Obviously, this summer there's going to be more change. You'll probably spend more money again, bring in some more players. Obviously, you will have a new manager, of course. What positions do you think you need to strengthen in the summer? And what manager do you look at and think that's the guy for Chelsea next season that can get us back to where we need to be?
For me, what position? Okay, so I'll go with what positions. We need a goalkeeper. Whether it be Penders or someone else, we need a goalkeeper because Sanchez is absolute trash. I don't want anyone to tell me that he's a good goalkeeper. I don't want to tell anyone to tell me that he's okay or average at best. He is absolute garbino, and I don't care if he's had a good season. Trash is trash. Get rid of him. Get rid of the other back guy too. That Danish fool, whatever his name is. Centre backs. Get rid of all of them except for Levi Colwell and Mamadou Sarr. So that's disastrous. Chalobah, Tosin, and Fofana, Badishile. 5 centre backs have to go. 5 of them have to go. Bring back Anselmino, Mamadou Sarr, Levi Colwell, and buy 2 starting centre backs. 2 starting centre backs. Have Colwell, Anselmino, and Mamadou Sarr off the bench. We need 2 starting left-footed and right-footed centre backs. Get me Murillo and Lacroix. Those are the 2 that I would want in terms of goalkeeper. Bring back Penders and bring in an older, experienced goalkeeper like a Maignan. Midfield. If we get rid of Enzo Fernandez, if we do go to Madrid and get Tchouaméni. Obviously, man likes to knock out Uruguayans. Yeah. There's a Uruguayan in United that needs to get knocked out, so why not bring him over? And he's French, and we got bare French man in our squad, so he'll be fine over here. Say voulez-vous ce soir. We also got Omega coming through, and them man do the French songs and that. You know what I'm saying? So he'll be all right over here, man. Malagusto, we'll sort him out with some clothes and that. And then wingers, I need two of them. We got Quenda and Esteval. We need two more wingers. Sell Pedro Neto, sell Garnacho, sell well, Gittins can't sell because he's injured at the moment. So when he gets back to fitness, sell him. And then striker, we need another striker. Loan out you to a Premier League club. Keep Delap as a third choice if you can't sell him. Have João Pedro and have another striker. We need another striker alongside João Pedro. Either have João. We do actually know Omega's coming through. Yeah, no, we'll be fine with strikers. I think Omega, João Pedro will be fine. But yes, if we keep the lap, have him third choice. If we don't keep the lap, get a third choice striker, maybe a youngster like a Krupi from Bournemouth. And then King, with all due respect, would you Tchouaméni without European football? Yeah, we can do it. We can get players without European football, especially if we get the right manager in. And that comes to the second question you asked. Bring me Xabi Alonso. Obviously, Fabregas doesn't want to move yet, so we can't get him. Simeone isn't gonna want to come to our club, even though I would have him as first choice. Hey, if Newcastle want the lap, sell him to Newcastle. Sell him to Newcastle. But for me, give me Xabi Alonso, and guess what? Tchouaméni will come through because he likes Xabi Alonso. So you know what? That's what you do.
You know what's funny about that, King? Mbappe also liked Xabi Alonso, so if you do get
bring him to the bridge, I don't care. Ninja Turtle bridge settings, you know what I'm saying? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We need a left winger. Bring him as well. So for me, if that is possible to bring Xabi Alonso, and the thing is, this is why you bring a Xabi Alonso, a Fabregas, a Simeone, because then you have the manager that brings in the quality players. People want to play for Xabi Alonso. People want to play for Fabregas. People want to play for Simeone. So if you bring in a quality manager, it doesn't matter if you're in Europe or out of Europe. They're going to come. That's what Newcastle need to realize and stop sticking with that Eddie Howe brother, because no one cares about Eddie Howe, not outside of England. But Xabi Alonso, Champions League winner for Liverpool, world renowned. Won the Bundesliga undefeated against the mighty Bayern. He's done it in both club and manager level. The fact is, the Madrid situation, you see what the Madrid situation, them men are doing WWE, boxing rings, knockouts, you know what I'm saying, knocking out each other's teammates, Rudiger slapping the manager. Like, come on. Ancelotti wasn't successful over there. So as far as I'm concerned, bring me Xabi Alonso. If Liverpool are dumb enough to allow him to come to my club, which is looking like they are, bring him. And why not? Why not? If I got Xabi Alonso, bring me Victor Osimhen as striker as well. Why not? Why not? Also, I want to on realistically, I couldn't care less if Enzo Fernandez leaves or not, because for me personally, I want to get the Argentinians out. I need to get me some Africans in. Chelsea's at greatest with French, Africans, and Italians. Those are the three type of players that we suit. Chelsea's always been great with French, Africans, and Italians. Argentinians not so much, and also with that bus situation and etc. It's always rubbed me the wrong way. So if Enzo Fernandez leaves, it ain't a big deal for me. If Garnacho goes, it ain't a big deal for me. If Pedro Neto goes, I don't really like the Portuguese like that anyway. He can go too. So yeah, man, Frenchman, Italians, Africans, we need Chelsea to be great again.
I completely hear that, man. Big up, Vidge, man. Appreciate you watching, man. Big up yourself. Big up, yeah. Would you take Iriola from Bournemouth, or do you think that's a step too big?
I'm hesitant with that one, because we did Graham Potter and it didn't work out. You know, he had the style, the panache at Brighton. He came to our club and he started putting on a fade and acting like something he's not. I don't know if he has the credentials to be at a big club. I think he needs a middle step. Honestly, I would rather see him go to like a a Napoli or so, a middle club where he can just win a trophy or two, win something. You know what I mean? Go Europe, win something in Europe, and then come back to England, to a big club in England. Because for me, as I said, I need a manager that's been there and done that, or as a player has been there and done that. And I don't think Areola's that guy. Possibly in the future, but yeah.
I hear it.
Oh,
Fabian
Areola
Ruiz,
apparently is going to Crystal Palace. Good
that's
for him.
mad, Brian. That is crazy. But yeah, it is what it
So
is.
yeah.
Would you take Fabian Ruiz then if he does leave PSG?
Um, Would I take him? Yes, I think he's a good midfielder. Would we buy him? I don't think so. He's out of the age bracket. How old is he? 30?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd take him though. I'd take him as a squad rotation piece, or if we go to a 3-man midfield, he can play. So yeah, why not? If Jabi Alonso, as I said, but at the same time, we need to see who our next manager is. And the next manager needs to be more control over who he signs as well.
I completely hear that, bro. Understandable. That's been pretty insightful, bro. Listening to the chat, I'm not exactly clued up on Chelsea because I'm not Chelsea supporter. I don't read up on them, but it's been interesting hearing what you've got to say about the whole Chelsea situation. So yeah, moving on from that, then, bro. Let's talk a bit about the Liverpool situation. Then,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, I've said my piece on our situation throughout the season numerous times. I've managed to remain calm, strangely enough, as well. I haven't really ever gone mad about it, which is again, I think I need to big myself up for that. But from your perspective, Bo, looking at Liverpool as a rival fan, what have you made of the summer, the season as a whole, and then going into next summer, next season for Liverpool? What have you made of our situation?
I think your summer was good. I don't think your summer was as great as people made it out, because you didn't solve all your issues. That was the biggest deal that I felt, that Liverpool didn't solve all their issues. You got rid of Luis Diaz, you never replaced him. And I'm sorry, Gakpo isn't good enough to be starting left wing for any club, any big club. I'm sorry, he's bona fide average, bona fide a scrub, honestly. So that was the first mistake. The second mistake was not dealing with your centre back situation. You went through most of the season with 3 recognized centre backs, and one of them being Joe Gomez, who got bent over and turned into Ice Spice by Matoma the other year. So that's your third centre back. Van Dijk fell off a tree, and then Konate has been half asleep, half in Madrid, half in doing what sorts. So for me, you needed centre backs. It was blatant to see that you needed centre backs. You didn't buy it in the summer. You kind of got away with it for the first 5 games. Then it all fell apart because Mo Salah wasn't playing to the same level as he was previous seasons. You lost obviously Trent. That would hurt you a lot in the attacking sense, because a player of that level of quality in terms of passing, that's not replaceable. That's not something that you can replace so easily. The manager didn't play a formation or style to suit the players that you brought in. You had 2 hungry strikers in Isaac and Ekatike. You didn't play them up front together once. I don't remember you doing that once. Or consistently. You didn't play what you played. Started playing Wirtz at left wing for some reason. Didn't allow him to thrive until the second half of the season. For me, you didn't get a DM. That was another position that you never really sorted, because Gravenberch was a makeshift DM in the first place. He's not that. That's not him. He's not a natural DM destroyer mid. He's not that. He's not that kind of player. You need that kind of player. You had Endo, but I'm sorry, he's not good enough. So that was another thing that you never got. You never really solved all your problems. You put a lot of money. You put a lot of money down on the table, but you didn't solve all your issues. And then in January, 2 of the players that you could have brought in to help you, you let City get. Both you linked with both of them. If you in the summer did what was necessary and got Guehi in January, got Semenyo in, and then got a DM, any good DM, Liverpool could have won the Premier League this season or won something big this season. That's all it needed. A couple centre backs, a left wing, and a DM. Outside of what them, and then maybe that would have maybe lessened the foolishness of the manager in terms of some of the things he was trying to do and implement. And then towards the end of the season, I would say it's a disappointing season for you. Finishing top 4, which is whoop-de-doo, 58 points. 58 points at this point in the season is disgraceful. And I say that with me having 48, 11 losses, 7 draws. That's not good enough. That's not anywhere near good enough. And at this point, the fact that the murmurings are that Slot is going to stay at this point, for me, doesn't make sense. I would get rid of your sporting director and your manager. And the sporting director's going in the summer?
Well, the one who's advocating, the one who's backing Slot is going. So that is
Oh,
positive
good,
news.
good. Because
Yeah.
if he's gone, then Slot's gone. Then you can go forward, because he needs to be fired for not making. Because the thing is, everything you bought outside of that was good. You bought left back, right back. You bought a 10. You bought 2 strikers. Obviously, the Jota situation is a situation that happened, but you replaced him and etc. etc. You didn't replace your left wing. You didn't sort out the centre backs. So you didn't sort out and you don't and you've never ever actually bought and the backup right wing you have, the manager doesn't use in Chiesa. So I don't know why you didn't sell him in the summer and brought someone else in that you would actually use, because it doesn't make sense to me to have someone of that quality and not use him. That's another thing your manager which was dumb. So in the summer, I don't think you need a lot. I just think you need a couple pieces and you're there. And also you need to kind of you need to spend a lot of money. It may look like a lot of money, but that's what the modern Premier League is. You know what I mean? You need to spend the money in order to rebuild. And you need to decide this summer, is Slot the manager to deal with your new rebuild, your new session of play? Is he the guy to lead the new players to the next level? Because the likes of Alisson, Van Dijk, Salah, even the likes of McAllister will slowly whittle away over the next couple seasons in terms of moving on. So you're rebuilding a new team. The last Premier League win was like the last juices of Salah and Van Dijk. They've lost it all now, but they won that last trophy together, so that's good. But it's just about moving on those players one at a time, slowly and replacing them. If you're going to get rid of a Salah, replace him. If you're going to get rid of a Diaz, replace him straight away, or even do it the season before, because the longer you wait to replace them, the more problems you're going to have season on, season out. And it's very difficult to replace a Salah because you're not going to get the same production, but you don't need the same production because you have Isaac and Ekitike that, if they're fit next season, can score the goals. What you need is wingers that can assist and beat their man and create plays for your strikers. So that's what the kind of wingers that you need to be looking at. Dare I say it, the Elise's, the KKs of this world, that's the kind of wingers that Liverpool should be going at. And yeah, but I will say this. I kind of known your ownership to half-ass things anyway. They do just enough for your fans to be happy, but not enough to win consistently. And that's why you've never gone back-to-back Prems. That's why you only have 2 Prems in 30 years. That's why you, for most of this kind of period of time, it's been shocking. Before with Gillette, you run them out, and then with this new ownership, they half-ass it. They do enough for you not to, crash out, pretty much. They dangle you a couple.
They do the bare minimum, basically, is what I think we can all agree.
Yeah.
Because we've had good windows before. I remember when we didn't get top 4 the year and the Klopp year, and they actually went and spent money just so we could get back into the top 4. So I've always kind of known that's their aim. That's what they're happy with. Thing is, when you got a manager like Jurgen who can work miracles, it's always a positive thing. But we always seem to go into seasons with like one position missing. I remember that year we missed the DM. I remember back in 2020 we missed the centre back when Van Dijk got injured. So it's annoying that they do spend money, but there's always one position that either it's a winger, it's a striker, it's a DM, midfielder, centre back. There's always somewhere where we're missing, and it does end up costing us, from in my opinion. But I agree, but I think I've had conversations with people off air about this, and a lot of people say to me, Diaz, you shouldn't have sold him. I said, selling Diaz is not the problem. The problem is you don't replace him. That's the issue that I have, and we didn't replace him with no one. That's what I have. I don't have a problem with letting him go. Yeah, it does suck because he's a great player, but you can't upgrade him. Diaz, in my opinion, is an upgradable winger. So that's what I had an issue with, and I think you hit the nail spot on there, Bob, as a rival fan. A very fair assessment there as well. The whole slot thing, again, it's honestly, it's up in the air what's going to happen with that, whether he stays or goes. I think ultimately, we're probably going to have to wait till the end of the season to see what's actually going to happen with that. We don't know for sure. So we'll have to wait till the end of the season whether he stays or goes. So that'll be interesting. But I don't think we need a lot. I agree with you. I don't think we need too much. I think a new manager comes in instantly. That's a bonus. You then get in a couple of signings. We know Salah's off this season, so we need a right winger for sure. It does look like Van Dijk will do one more year, so he'll go next summer. Which I don't know what you think about that as a neutral, but a lot of people think that maybe it's time for him to move on this summer as well. I think Alisson probably does one more year as well. And yeah, I think out with the old guard, in with the new guard. You know what I'm saying? The Alissons, Van Dijk, Salahs, they're getting on. They got 1 or 2 years left max, and yeah, I agree, bro. I 100% agree with you on that. So do you think if we do get the right manager in, if we do have a good window, that we can win the league next season and be there competing?
100% you can. You can. Because it's not like you just become a bad team. It's not like that. And even with that being said, the Premier League isn't that great. Like, look at Arsenal and City teams that are competing. They're not that great. So it doesn't need a lot for you to win the league at the current moment, because the levels aren't as high as it was when it was slot Pep, 90, 95, 100 points, craziness. It's not that. So you can do it. And the thing about Van Dijk is, I do think he needs to go, but I think it is smart to keep him another year if you bring in a couple centre backs. Also, you have that Leone kid that's coming back from injury as well. So if you can bring in a couple centre backs and don't have Van Dijk off the bench, or play sparingly, the way John Terry used to be back towards the end of his career, where he wasn't the starter, where he would just come here and there and just teach the new centre backs how to play the game, because he's been there, done that. He's won everything. He's got the t-shirt. So if you're gonna keep him around to kind of have that leadership, backroom staff, going into coaching type role, where you maybe even offer him a coaching role next season, kind of thing. Whereas if he's gonna leave at the end of hey, do you want to stay as a coach? Do you want to stay? Get your badges here, etc., still be a part of the club.
Yeah.
Do the other stuff that you get from a Van Dijk. But yeah.
AJ, I wouldn't say he's got a big ego. I do think he would accept it if you put the offer up to him. I don't think Van Dijk's got an ego like that compared to other centre backs around. Yeah. Personally. So before we move on,
have him as.
Yeah, 100%. But before we move on, I want to get your take on the Mohamed Salah situation this season, because obviously, compared to recent years, he's had a big decline this year. You can say it's natural to an extent because he is 34. What have you made? Do you think it's all on him as to why he's declined, or do you think another manager maybe could get a little bit more out of him?
No, I just think Father Time is undefeated right now. He's done a lot of running. You look at Sadio Mane, his partners, Firmino, they're all in Saudi right now for a reason. They couldn't make it in the top 5 leagues anymore. As I said, the last bit of juice that he had left was last year, and it was an unbelievable year. But
fair enough, AJ.
I feel like with him, I understand why you kept him and Van Dijk for the 2-year deals, because you lost Trent. The club lost Trent, and they were desperate, basically. If they kept Trent, I reckon they would have let both those guys go easily. I reckon that would have been the plan, to keep Trent, have him be the future captain, and then Van Dijk, Salah move on after a year, or even move on that last summer. But Trent goes, you have a problem. Panic stations, you keep them for 2-year deals that they probably shouldn't have got on money that they shouldn't, money that they deserve, but kind of dumb at them ages to be given that kind of money to those type of players where that they could fall off like that very easily. So yeah, Salah's had a big fall off, and when people say it's going to be difficult to replace Salah, if this
I
was
wouldn't say
Salah 2 seasons or 3 seasons ago, yeah, it would be. But this
yeah.
version of Salah is easily replaceable. That's the thing. He's just not the same. And also he had a falling out with the manager as well. You can tell that as well. The fact that in big games that he should be playing in, he isn't playing in, like the last Champions League games for the club, the last Premier League games for the club, etc., etc. I know he's injured now, but I don't think he would still be playing or starting him because I think they had a falling out, and he's being very petty in that essence. And I feel like, yeah, for me, it didn't make sense that that there were certain games where he was on the bench and he wasn't coming on, etc., etc. So yeah, it was a very petulant. I don't think, and also he did the interview and spoke out and all that other stuff, and really, ideally, at that point, it was done. It was done for me. At that point, as a club, for me, I would have got rid of both the player and the manager at that point and moved on from both of them. For me personally, but yeah, man, it's just a shame. Obviously, he's going to be a legend of your club. I'm not going to say legend of the Premier League because
Yeah, that's
I'm a
fair.
Chelsea
That's
fan,
fair.
but I'll say legend of your club, and we'll see.
I hear that 100%. Brian, is this so? I don't know how these odds work. Is that more in Liverpool's favour or Chelsea's favour?
I think it's more in Liverpool's favour.
Okay, thank you for Ryan. Thank you for letting
I
me know
think.
about that.
I think.
Okay, yeah.
Wait, I know. Wait, 7-4, 4. I
I'm
don't
not
know.
sure how these.
Maybe
Yeah.
Chelsea's flavour. It's been a long time since I've looked at odds.
AJ, you know what, King? I did want to get your take on this. What do you think of the goalkeeper situation? Do you think Alisson's good enough to stay another couple of years, or you
I
think
mean, you
maybe?
can keep him for another year. I reckon you can. But I think you need to give Dashvili the keys to the kingdom, really.
Yeah,
At some point.
I
You
think
got you got you
AJ.
got to put him into the deep end.
Yeah, 100%. AJ, for me, I think with Mohamed Asfili at the moment, we do have our doubts on him, but I think if you give him that chance, he is still relatively young as well. So I do think he can nurture into that role and be that next Allison. I'm not saying he'll be as good as Allison, of course, but he can, step into the role if he's given the chance, of course. That is also it's more Liverpool's favour. Okay, that's good news, man. That's very good news. So yeah, Woodman is better than I don't know, Chronic. I don't know about that one. They both seem like decent keepers, to be fair. About the sixth ball, we haven't replaced Fabinho yet, which is mad, and we let him go in 2023. So that is crazy when you think about it, that we still haven't replaced Fabinho.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is mad. That is mad. So yeah, talked a bit about Liverpool and Chelsea situation there. So on the game tomorrow, then, but how do you see the game going? Do you think it'll be a good one? Do you think it'll be a bit dead? How do you see it going from a Chelsea perspective?
I think it's gonna be a bit dead, honestly. If I'm thinking about it on a Chelsea perspective, it's gonna be a dead game because I don't think the players care no more at this point. I don't think they care, honestly, because they're not really playing for anything. Yeah, they're not really playing for anything.
I hear that, man. Your record at Anfield isn't too great either, is it? I don't think you have a particularly great record at our ground, so
I don't know. I think we're losing. I think we're probably going to lose.
I hear it, but Liverpool Chelsea games are notoriously known for being draws, aren't they? Usually, either it's a 0-0, 1-1.
Yeah, recently they've been a couple. I don't think we draw though.
No, I think there's a winner.
I don't give us a chance. I'll be honest with you.
I hear it, AJ. I hear that 100%. So yeah, obviously, both teams are pretty shit. To be fair, I know we're above you in the league, but you look at how both teams play. We're shit. You're shit. Obviously, I'm not saying that as a diss to Chelsea. I think if it wasn't for you guys being as bad as you were, we wouldn't even be fifth. We'd be a lot lower down. So, thanks to Chelsea being as bad as they've been, we've actually managed to maintain fifth. Whereas you guys have just continued falling, losing. I think we've kind of consistently managed to get a bit more results than you have, which is why we are where we are. But both teams have been really bad. They've been really, really bad this season, I think. Who would you say has had a worse season out of us two?
I mean, it's not finished yet, but right now, us.
Okay, you'd say Chelsea have had a worse season. I would have
Yeah.
thought because of the money Liverpool spent, maybe you would have said Liverpool, but fair enough, bro. Thank you, AJ. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Nah, if we win the FA Cup, then obviously we would have had a better season. But no, we're mid-table. And I don't get. I'm not a money man. I don't really give a damn about what money spent. The money spent is what what children say, or what other club rivals say just to take the piss. But for me, I spent 2 billion. You spent 500 million in the summer. Who cares? It's not really about the money. It's about optically over the course of the season, what has happened. And you got further in Champions League. Obviously, we're in the FA Cup final. You didn't. Obviously, you haven't won. You're not going to win anything this year. You're finishing top 4, which is, I guess, genuinely okay. So, as I said, I don't know if our season's going to be better than yours because we're realistically going to finish mid-table, looking like we're going to finish mid-table. So if we lose the FA Cup final, then yeah, it's going to be a worse season because there's nothing positive out of the season. If we win the FA Cup, then we shamelessly we would have had a better season than every club that's probably not named Arsenal.
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%.
But if Arsenal don't win anything, then we would have had a better season than them as well.
So there is obviously you've got the final coming up, boss. So you do have even though it's a slim chance because City will be favourites, you do have a chance to win a trophy, which at the end of the day is mad. You've got the interim coach coming into this game, so Slot should be able to get the best out of this guy. I know Slot isn't great, but on paper you should be, getting the best out of a PE teacher tactically, respectfully. So going into the game, who are the players in the Liverpool team you look at and think can cause Chelsea issues?
What Liverpool team to cause us problems? None.
Players that you think,
None at the moment. Is Ekatike available?
Nope, no Ekatike.
Is Isaac available?
No Ekatike. No, I think the front line will probably be Gakpo, Gakpo up top, and then you'll have Wirtz, Rio off the left, and then Szoboszlai off the right. That's my guess for tomorrow's game.
The only one I'm worried about is Rio. He's the only one that can do something. The rest of them are just rubber-dubs.
Yes, 100%. I hear that, man. I hear that. Chelsea again. Is there anyone that can? I think you probably have a worse attack than United do. So while United caused us some issues, I know defensively Van Dijk and Konate are suspect at times. They're unfuckery at times, but I think is Garnacho playing for this game? Garnacho, Neto, are they all available?
Fuck knows. I don't think so. I don't know. But the only one that you're gonna be worried about is João Pedro. That's about it.
Yeah.
We have one each. You have João Pedro. You have Rio. That's about it.
Yeah.
In terms of attackers, because our Esteval's out for the season. Thank you, Liam. And Palmer's not the same. And yeah, that's it.
So defensively, we should be okay. Then we should be able to manage with the attacking threat that Chelsea had, albeit if we switched on. But yeah, I agree with you. I can't really see. Brian Isak's not fit. He might be fit for Villa next week and Brentford, but he's not fit for this one. If he is, I think he'll be on the bench. I don't think he'll start. I can see it being a pretty dead game as well. I don't think it'll be too exciting. Two poor sides going at it again at the end of the day. So if you had to give a score prediction then to finish up, bro, what would your score prediction be?
What would the score prediction be? This just looks like a 1-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, I do think we'll win as well. I think we get the 3 points this weekend. More so because you guys are coming to us off the back of 6 losses in a row. Haven't got a coach, not looking too great. We could make it 7 in a row, which is mad. So with the defeat to United as well at the weekend, I do think we bounce back this weekend, but I don't think it'll be a great game. I have gone with a 2-1 Liverpool win myself, personally. I think you guys will make it a bit. I don't know if you guys will turn up and it'll be because you guys make it harder, or if we just make it harder for ourselves. But I do think it'll be a pretty crap game. But I've gone 2-1 to us. Ryan says 3-1 Liverpool. Nighttime Kid says 4-0 4-1. I don't think it'll be that much Nighttime Kid personally, but yeah, I think only because we're at home, man. I think we'll get the 3 points, low key. But yeah, man, I think it's gonna
maybe
be
even a 2-0, maybe even a 2-0 Liverpool. I don't see you scoring a lot of goals, but you'll win.
Yeah, I think it'll be one of those where, yeah, I know it's a big 6 class, but both teams are trash, so it's not something to look forward to. I think both of us are in the same page of just end the season as quick as possible and let's get to the summer and rebuild.
Yeah, as I said, I only have 2 games that I care about.
Yeah.
One because, for shameless reasons, and one because we need to win a trophy.
Makes sense, man. Totally makes sense. So yeah, it's been a great chat, man. Obviously we've given our thoughts on the game, thoughts on the whole Liverpool and Chelsea situation. So yeah, man, been a great chat, been a great preview. To round up then, guys, we are going to head off, man. Appreciate King coming on as always, man. Big up my brother King. Appreciate you coming on, means a lot. What you got coming up, Bob, that you want to tell the people about?
Right now at 8 o'clock, I'll be doing Hull City versus Millwall Championship playoff. And then over the weekend, obviously we'll have our joint Liverpool Chelsea watch along. Probably be a fellowship watch along settings. And then while I'm doing that, I'll be also watching the other Championship playoff. And then Atletico Madrid, Celta Vigo. I'm doing Pro League, Belgian Pro League, Club Brugge versus St. Trudent. Then going to Scotland, Celtic Rangers, and then women's football, Chelsea, Man City, FA Cups, semi-final as well. So yeah, a lot of football over the weekend. Obviously wrestling as well. It's Backlash. And then later today I'll be on Don C's channel, Donversation TV, for the Friday night showdown. Obviously he's going to be very happy. And shameless, but I'm gonna bring the mood down. You know what I'm saying, with the Arteta disciple talk, and yeah, that's it.
Hey, man, guys, do make sure you go show King some love, man. Make sure you do sub to King's channel and all. You check him out. Big up to the brother, man. I appreciate you all locked in as well. It's been a great chat with all of you. Big up Brian. Big up to Brian as well, man. Appreciate you being in, man. Big up Nighttime Kid as always. Who else was in here? Big up AJ. Big up to Chronic. Make sure you do sub to Chronic as well, lads. Big up to our other brother Vidge, man, in the building. Make sure you sub to our brother Vidge on both of his channels. Who else was in here earlier? I think Rasta was also in here. Big up to our brother Rasta. Make sure you do sub to our brother Rasta as well. Big up to Ari, and of course. Who else was in here? Let's have a look. Big up to Joshua, guys. Make sure you do sub to Josh as well. Legend in the building. Big up yourself, man. And yeah, that's everyone, man. Appreciate you all. We will be back very, very soon as well. With, of course, other content to do. And yeah, been a great chat, man. Again, thanks to King for joining. It means a lot, brother. And yeah, Liverpool Prophet out. African King Academy out. And we'll speak to you all soon. In a bit. Peace. We're out.